Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push in the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, to the Akwat that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. We're going to start at Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the heathen. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is the point right here. Okay, and I want to examine this because this is right now, this is talking about Yemen and the Houthi rebels. Okay, whatever they're, the Iran-backed Houthi rebels, whatever you want to call them. Talk about them right there. Let's examine that. Because once upon a time, first of all, Yemen is fighting a civil war as they're staving off the devil from continuing to plunder and just control the area, which they shouldn't be. You would never let nobody control the Gulf of Mexico or, whatever shores are here on Babylon the Great. Anyway, so let's take a look here. All right. And find out. We'll get a little more clarity. Joel 3 and 10 in the NIV. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weakling, Yemen, say, I am strong. Right? Train even your weaklings to be warriors in the NLT. Let the weak say, I am a warrior. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let's see if we can get one that better describes the situation. Let even the weakling say, I am a warrior. Okay. And he who is weak will say, I am a mighty man. And see this? Where's the gardening tools? When it goes into, here we go, right here. Let's read Contemporary English Version. Make swords out of plows and spears out of garden tools. Strengthen every weakling. This is what we're watching. See, because the Yemeni, right now, they're like this, we don't give a F. Okay? Brain, drop your bombs, do what you got to do. But let's get to, right, the swords and the spears part, because we're not afraid of you. Okay? Even the weak must fight. Hey, they're like this. Hey, we might be weak, but we're going to do what the hell we got to do. We're going to take some casualties, right? Let the weakling boast, I am a warrior. That's what we see from the Yemeni people, right? Let the weak say, I am mighty. So, yeah, I like that. Let the frail say, I am strong. What was that one that I like? Gardening tools there. Strengthen every weakling. Make swords out of plows and spears out of garden tools. Make you some predator. Make your own predator drone. Get a bomb. Get a propeller. $500 drone. Right? And go do your thing. All right? So, and we're watching that. We're watching the fearlessness of the Yemeni people. So we're going to watch a couple of these little videos because what's going on over there, Yemen or the Houthi, the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels have been in the Red Sea, right, over there striking, shutting down commerce. And how do you get Esau's attention? You fuck with his money. And that's what's going on. We got to go got to go drop some bombs, and in a minute we're going to be looking like the Israelis conducting a genocidal, maniacal uh, war of attrition, or whatever you want to call it, on these weaklings that are not backing down. All right, so this is a day ago, I believe, one day ago. Then we'll get to the one that's like hours ago or within the hour. And they're pretty much saying the same thing, except for here's what we're going to get: counterattacks. So, Yemen, the Yemeni, were taking down ships, right? Houthi and the blown ships, not Houthi and the blowfish. So, anyway, and then finally, after weeks, because they didn't know what to do, how are we going to? Are they going to keep going? They have to protect their money, so they had to go do that. But what they thought that Yemen was going to back down after some force, but Yemen right now is saying, "I'm strong. I'm not backing down. Oh, you hit me, I hit you. You hit me, I hit you." What is that going to cause? It's going to cause more attacks in Yemen, and before you know it, the world is going to be against the British, the U.S., and Israel. And who is that? The Edomites. Okay? This is what we're watching. You can put any name you want to on it. Yemeni, sons of Ishmael, right? Iranian, the Persians, sons of Elam. So when you know the truth, the lie is just getting ferreted out. So anyway, I'm going to let this play.
Welcome to the News Hour. The United States and Britain are launching strikes tonight against Houthi targets in Yemen.
The strikes are in response to numerous attacks against shipping vessels in the Red Sea in recent months. Nick Schifrin joins us now for the latest. Nick, so what do we know at this hour about these U.S. strikes?
A U.S. official confirms that more than a dozen strikes have been hit inside Yemen with Tomahawk missiles fired by ships in the Red Sea, as well as jets that were flying off of those ships. The targets include logistical hubs, air defense systems, and weapons storage site. And the weapons storage sites that we're talking about are the weapons that the Houthis have been using in order to attack U.S. ships and commercial ships in the Red Sea. That means drones, ballistic, and cruise missiles. Before this strike, I talked to former military officials who told me that the U.S. does have intelligence that they believe that can degrade Houthi capabilities, degrade the ability for the Houthis to attack these ships, both commercial and military, and even earlier, a few months ago, try and attack Israel. But administration officials told me that they weren't sure that these strikes would actually deter the Houthis from continuing to launch strikes. And so what the U.S.
No, it's not going to deter them because they're in it. Okay? And if you keep using the phrase Iran-backed Houthis, you think they're going to run out of ammunition? So what that really spells out is that the real target is Iran. All right? Each side is trying to bait the other one into a larger war. Okay? Because Israel, the UK, and the US, they all want to go into Iran. That's the real target. So this is the dog and pony show before the main event. So.
Is expecting is a Houthi response and a couple of rounds of back and forth. That was built into this strike tonight, according to U.S. officials I talked to. And so the expectation, again, is that the Houthis will strike back. And this is just the beginning. And I'm going to...
The expectations is the Houthis will strike back. It sounds like they're saying, I am strong. I ain't weak. We ain't weak. We're about it. Right? Now, what's going to happen when a couple of U.S. Carriers or battle cruisers, when they go down, see, that's going to get everybody's attention. So let's see what happens between now and next week. If they're going to be tit for tat and back and forth, then guess what? You're going to escalate, they're going to escalate. And what you're going to do is you're going to make the Arabs and the Persians in that area so mad, they're all going to join in. Is that what you want? You think it's what you want. You think it is.
Today, Abdul Malik al-Houthi, one of the Houthi leaders, said that, hey, look, if you strike us tonight, we're going to strike you harder than we already have.
Just the beginning of a new phase, but as you've noted before, this didn't happen overnight. This has been building for weeks. Remind us of the context and how we got here.
Yeah, there have been 27 attacks by the Houthis in Yemen on commercial shipping and U.S. shipping since the middle of November, since the last 6 weeks. It started with that brazen attack, photos of which you're seeing right there. Houthi militants landing with a helicopter on the deck of the Galaxy Leader. They actually kidnapped a dozen foreign officials that night, foreign sailors. The U.S. created a...
And making this video, right, this is them saying, we are strong, and this made Esau mad. He's like this, I guess we're going to have to do something. What are we going to do? Right? Because we're going to be made to look like these Amalekites over here, right? These Amalekites pointing the finger at everybody else calling them Amalekite. Don't want to be who you are, Esau, but guess what? Guess what the scriptures say?
Time coalition in order to defend shipping and ships going through this area, which is key to international shipping. Some 15% of all boats go through there, but clearly those warships did not prevent the Houthis from continuing to launch this attack.
That's the key. Okay? That's the key. When you read the tea leaves, if you will, what you're seeing is the Houthis or the Yemeni, whatever you want to call them, are not backing down. Okay, yeah, bomb and strafe the whole of Yemen. We're not backing down, right? Kind of like a suicide vest. Oh, yeah, no, we don't have any weapons, but we do have C4 and nails and screws and shit, right? That's what they're saying, right? We got these rockets. What is a rocket today, right? Estes, Sentry, model rockets, right? Is that what they're firing? Now they're getting, guess what? The playing field is being leveled or evened out. Now a $50 drone can do much damage, right? And that's what we're watching.
December 16th and January 4th, U.S. Navy shot down 61 missiles and drones. And so that is what clearly has led to tonight's strike. The idea that many in the U.S. administration and also the British administration, which took part in this, wanted to try and restore that deterrence, wanted to strike back finally at the Houthis, and that's what's happened tonight. I'm going to quickly, the context for this, not only the humanitarian crisis in Yemen, but also the political advancement that the U.S. has really been pushing. The U.S. has been trying to end once and for all.
Yeah, right. What does a civil war in Yemen mean? That means that they're trying to bring in, what do you call it? They're staging a coup and bringing in a puppet government like you do all over the world. That's all the civil war means. Okay. You're funding the rebels and you're in other people's business. That's what the Civil War means. Oh, yeah, they're trying to end the Civil War. No, you're fomenting the Civil War. You fucking devil. You beady-eyed devil. You ain't fooling nobody. How about that?
Trying to end once and for all the civil war in Yemen between the Houthis and the coalition-backed government, backed by...
The coalition-backed... See, he just told on himself right there. Exactly what I just said. Backed by Saudi Arabia. Who's in control of Saudi Arabia? The Edomites up there. They're not Arabs. The battle between the Houthis and the coalition-backed government. Huh? Just explain this.
Saudi Arabia. The progress that had been made in the last 6 months has actually been pretty good. And so what U.S. officials are wondering tonight is if a military strike actually takes away from that progress or, in fact, gives them leverage over the Houthis.
Yeah, you're trying to destabilize the region so you can maintain your control over the oil, the passageways, and all of those things. Same old devil. You ain't changed at all. Now let's watch this one. Only three minutes apiece. Try not to talk in this one. Let the video speak for itself. After the damn commercial. So Lockie, bear with me. Come on. Skip it. Here we go. I have to read this. Okay, following a series of joint British strikes on the Houthi rebels late Thursday. Okay, and we just pretty much watched this. So let's just watch it. Read it if you want to. If there's a real important segment. Now, this is important because of the date. Okay? What's today? Okay, so this is how current this update is. Okay, this brutal British and U.S. aggression on Yemen, and this is them speaking. Okay? This is them speaking. This is from the other side, not just Western propaganda. It says, is because, let's go back. This brutal British and U.S. aggression on Yemen, right, is because the Yemeni people are standing with Gaza, because they're all the same people, and with the Palestinian, and with the resistant Palestinian people. Now, Palestinians, you're all the sons of Ishmael. That's why you're standing together. Because of this, they are targeting us, because all Arab people have let Palestine down. Now they're going to stand up. And if they shall turn themselves, see, this is them turning. He's explaining all Arab people, what he's saying is, we got to stand together. Those are our brothers over there. They're Arabs too. They're the sons of Ishmael too. Okay? We can't let our brothers down over there. Right? I'm going to show you that in the scripture. And if they shall turn themselves, and they have let the Islamic nation down. See how they're coming together? You got different factions of Muslims or Islamic over there. You got the Sunni. You got the Shiite. I believe there's one more, and they're at odds. Just like you can say that, well, there's a civil war in Yemen, right? Civil war in Yemen, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like North and South Korea. Well, they're all Koreans. They're all the same people. Who's got them fighting against each other? For years. Who's over there? Who's got bases in South Korea? Huh. And because we are standing steadfast with Palestine, they're targeting us with a brutal aggression. Okay? So that's them speaking. Right? Now they're going to show you some of the, treachery. Let's see what this brother's saying. This is an old man right here. He's like this, bring what you got. We're tired of this shit. The only way out of it, right? Because Yemen is controlled by Great Britain. Why is Great Britain fighting with America on this? Because I'm not sure if it's still colonized by Great Britain, but it was up until a short time ago at the very least. So our stance is unwavering. We will continue to stand with our brothers in Palestine and Gaza. What is so hard to understand? Until all Palestinian land is liberated. Not just Gaza. All Palestinian land must be liberated from the Israeli occupation. What? Come on. This is a religious and moral duty for us in Yemen. This is a holy war. And all these people, their religion, right, is stronger than whatever. Okay? Because those I'm gonna cut it right here. Those Persians, right? They're Islamic too. Even though they're a different race of people, but they're all together in religion. That makes them even greater and stronger. How's that gonna play out? Okay, so this one I believe is the latest one. All right, so let's watch this, and I'll bring it to an end.
Let's talk about this in more detail with our...
Let's talk about it in more detail. Okay, so this is a quick synopsis. This is 38 minutes ago. Okay, and what's going on is tit for tat. Americans have already struck twice in the last, 48 hours. And what happened? The Houthis go right back out into the Red Sea and start sinking ships, which is why the coalition had to come after being embarrassed, right? And try to carve out some response. Meanwhile, over here in Eastern Europe, Vlad is escalating. All right, so you're being spread thin. It's quite obvious, right? In a minute, Xi Jinping is going to say, "Up, now you got to fight over here too." Okay, you're being spread thin, Rome. Rome 2.0. Remember that? Remember how you went down, right? And tried to blame it on Jake.
And security analyst, Professor Michael Clark's in the studio with me now. So
Start at the top.
let's talk about this in more detail with our defence and security analyst, Professor Michael Clark's in the studio with...
Professor, this grand wizard of knowledge and intellect. We're going to let this devil talk, right?
So let's first talk about the significance of last night's attacks, the second in 48 hours.
Now listen to the devil's side, because we just heard the Yemeni people speak on why they're doing what they must do. Now we'll listen to the devil himself spin it in a whole different direction. And what's on his mind? Murder. Murder, theft. The thief cometh not but what? To steal and to kill, and one more. What? To destroy. And what is he doing? Yemeni didn't come. The devil came to Yemen. Yemeni we live here. Where do you live? Nigga, what are you doing in our hood right now? This is our hood. This is our waterway. Fuck are you doing over here? He gonna spin it, make it seem like it's all good, that I'm all up in your neighborhood, bombing and straight, shooting up, driving by. This is a drive-by. Okay? You break it down to hood term. Nigga, what are you doing in our hood? Driving by, shooting up the hood here. Because you can. All right?
The Houthis fired another missile even after the big attack. They were actually aiming at what they thought was a British ship.
Trying to chase us out of their neighborhood, which is what they should be doing. If Yemeni set up around the United States and started conducting business, what would you do? You'd be firing missiles. So shut the fuck up, you damn devil.
But it turned out it was a Russian ship that was sanctions busting. It was actually one of the Russia's ghost ships, but the missile just fell short, didn't do any harm. But that was enough for the Americans to do a tit-for-tat strike, and so they struck in the outskirts of Sana'a, a radar station, which they said was just another target. It was a one-for-one hit. The USS Carney fired it, a Tomahawk cruise missile. This is the Carney. It's the hardest working ship in the task force. The Carney's brought down more drones and missiles than any other ship in the task force, so it's doing pretty well. So that was where we were last night, tit for tat, and I expect we'll see a bit more of that as the days go through.
Right, and sending a very clear message. Do we know anything more then, Michael, about Thursday's attack? Can you tell us?
Yeah, we do, actually. It's quite interesting. On Thursday, we know that these Americans, these are the F-18s from the Eisenhower carrier, and the F-18s were doing a lot of the jobs which British aircraft might otherwise have had to do. We said on Thursday, Friday, that a lot of aircraft will be in the air in order to get 4 British bombers over the target. Indeed, there were, but they were all American aircraft, more or less. And so the F-18s were acting as growlers, which is electronic jamming. They were acting as harm missiles, which are firing anti-radiation missiles against radar. They were acting as fighters to protect the bombers. And also from the Eisenhower, the Hawkeye, the E2 Hawkeye, and that's the airborne warning system. So
Yeah. You
the
got
States is not getting involved in the Yemeni.
you got a lot of hardware. Okay, we'll see how it holds up to these poor. The Israelis like to call them non-human animals or whatever. you goddamn devils, boy. All right.
Here, whether or not it will work, we don't know. But I mean, the United States is not getting involved in the Yemeni civil war. Absolutely not. The US is not trying to destroy the Houthis. Absolutely not. The Houthis are what they are, and that war will go on according to its own logic or not, as the case may be. What the US and Britain are trying to do is...
He tried to blame, oh, the Yemeni people are fighting. No. You're up in there. You're in the hood. You sent your little fucking, you went and with some money and paid off half of them, split them down the middle like you did in Korea, everywhere else. What are you doing in Taiwan? Okay, we could go down the list. This is easy. The devil needs to go home, right, to Mount Seir and stay in your own, stay on your side. You're going around the world claiming land. Like what's going on right here, land don't belong to you, you damn devil. Don't belong to the Ishmaelites either. But we'll get to that. We're patiently waiting for this devil to fall.
Make it more difficult for the Houthis to use their facilities to launch attacks against ships, and then to actually persuade them that it's not worth it, to stop doing it. I mean, whatever else the Houthis do.
That's not going to work. You're not going to persuade them that it's not worth it. They're ready to die. They got the suicide vest on, and you don't see it. And it's going to wind up. And how do we know this? Okay, that's enough of that. Go watch it if you want to. How do we know who's going to win? Well, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua gave us the playbook, right? And if the Arab people put down their differences and come back together, what's going to happen? Okay. We read this a lot because we're in the time of this. We're in the Middle East right now, in the Valley of Yehoshaphat. Second Ezra 15 and 28. Behold, a horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. Talk about the Arabs here. The dragons of the Arabs. Okay. Shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So you can best believe those devils, the so-called white man, the Edomite, he's fearing and trembling about going in here and dealing with all these Arabs because they're really afraid of them. You got some missiles, you got more missiles, that's why you're there. What are they afraid of? What does it take to strap on a suicide belt, suicide vest? All right, it takes much courage. Those bombs being dropped by the devil, the U.S. and Britain, we're in planes, we're in a closet in Connecticut with a joystick, and we're handling the drones like that, right? And two can play at that game. But who got on the suicide? This is up close and personal, all right? That's a real warrior, right? That's not a weakling, all right? Also, the Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, says Carmanians, and Carmania is a city in Persia, or Iran as they call it today. And with great power shall they come and join battle with them. So it's not just one race of people. You got the Elamites and you got the Ishmaelites coming together. Ooh, okay. And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. Let me read that again. And then, when they come together, and join in battle, then shall the dragons, the Arabs, have the upper hand. What is that? Remembering their nature, the nature of a wild man. Now, here's the point about the Sunnis and the Shiites and the different factions of Islam or Muslim or whatever. And if they shall turn themselves, what does that mean? Turn back to we're all one, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. If they come back to let's put our differences down right now. See, whatever that civil war is about, you don't want to be a Shiite, you want to be a Sunni. That's the devil speaking. Let's break this thing in two. Right? Then these shall be trouble. Who is these? Right? Well, these are Syrians. Right? Then these shall be troubled. Bled. They shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians, that's America, shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. That's your boy, this guy, Joe Biden, he's scared. They're closing in. Okay? Who's going to have the upper hand? The Arabs. Who's going to win? The Arabs. So keep going tit for tat, devil. All right? Keep being the most proud, and we'll see how that works out for you. All right? So that's the update for the day. The tit for tat is going on. It's escalating. It's out of control. And it's all coming together at the same time. What is Vlad over there doing? He's raising the stakes, trying to shift the focus back over there, right? But this shit is not going nowhere. All right, so we'll see you tomorrow. We hope that the electorate edify you, brothers and sisters. With that, we're going to say shalom.